Yo.
And we're back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode of Alignment Shift. How's everybody doing
Woot
tonight?
woot.
Huh?
I'm not
This
dead.
This week is an special episode. We have a guest appearance from the one, the only, Snuggle!
Alignment shift viewer.
Yeah.
Hello.
Longtime viewer, first time appearing on the show. Snuggles, I don't know if he wants to say his real name or not.
Even though it's listed right under
My
his tag.
real name's right up there on Roll20 anyway. My name is Jordan.
There we go.
I can't see it.
And strangely for this week, I can see myself.
Very laggy video though.
Very laggy video. I'm moving at about 4 frames a second. It's pretty cool.
That's all you need.
A little bit more.
A little bit more than 4 frames. All right. Well, either way.
Solid 6.
So, without too much exposition, I'm going to get into the exposition. So, and also, a little piece of note. AJ will not be able to join us this week due to prior constraints. However, we have a good out for that. So, without further ado,
No roll call.
we're going to dive into this week's episode of Alignment Shift. Roll the intro. And we're back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Diving in to tonight's episode. We pick up where we left off last. The great battle between titans. The paladin versus the blood cleric. Bernadictus went mano a mano against Glaive Van Alta, 10,000 feet in the air on 2 crashing airships above the city of Amman. Sent there by the Platinum Sanctuary to snuff out the curse that Glaive has been spreading. Glaive, informed by someone that he was going to be attacked and that if he wanted to remove this curse, he would kill him as well. So, the two battled. Allegiances were made between Ananduil and Lorelei. On opposite sides, Lorelei siding with Bernadictus that Glaive must be destroyed, and Ananduil siding with Glaive that she made a promise to Sapala that no harm would come to him. Laura had a strangely Veil-like episode and through a series of bad rolls, barely participated in the fight.
That was
and-
all Laura.
Yeah, that was all Laura, absolutely. And Benedictus ended up getting tackled off the edge of the airship. Through some quick thinking and attempts by the party, the rest of the party managed to make their way back with the aid of Gilmore to Amman, fly up to the airship just as the two came plummeting off, quickly discovering that the speed and velocity of which two massive warriors, probably weighing an equal 600 pounds between the two of them, holding each other as they go down, aren't easily lifted from their descent by. However, Glaive revealed that he had a plan and asked them all to back off, to which the party acquiesced, and they ended up plummeting into the Cloudtop district and crashing into the ground. However, Glaive held a revivify spell for the last possible second, allowing Benedictus to die and be brought back immediately after, just as Glaive's body itself crumpled into the stonework, trusting in his one friend, Sapala, to use her magic to reincarnate him. She came down, used her expensive oils, and performed the ritual of reincarnation right in the middle of the Cloudtop district as a small crowd gathered around. Some books were laying down. Benedictus laid down his holy symbol. Eldores, I don't remember what other than words you put down. Or not Eldores. Yeah.
He
what did
dropped
you put
some
down?
sweet words.
Yeah, I think it just dropped some sweet words.
Yeah, and he prayed to Saren Ray.
That was it. Prayed to Saren
And
Ray.
I put the little glass thing that
Yes.
he's given everyone for Winter's Crest to assist.
And the spell was complete. Glaive Van Alta returned to the living. A series of firefly-like dots coalesced around the body. My phone just heard the word series and thought I said Siri. The fireflies dissolved the body, which floated away and a few feet away, reformed as a halfling. As you all stand around in your final moments of last week's episode, embracing Glaive, you watch as his now semi-shirted form, he looks tired, and he looks up and, oh, I'm gonna nap now, and just falls forward and begins to snore on the ground.
A nap here. Okay, a nap here.
At this moment, you notice that the guards of the district are running toward you. However, as one of the guard approaches, another figure steps in front of the party. Between you and the guards, what you see, I would like Jordan to describe.
Look at my icon there. That's what I'm describing. You see a silver scale dragonborn with blue robes accented with almost metallic white. Along his entirety of his body is scattered blue scales mixed into the silver with deep blue eyes. He holds a golden staff that comes to almost figure 8 shape at the top.
Is that a mini you painted?
It is.
Nice.
That is.
So as this figure runs up between the guards kind of stop in front of him. As they kind of come forward, one of them takes a step toward this figure and, sir, you're the people behind you. We need to figure out what's going on here, sir.
I hold the staff out and I speak its command word, casting command. If you don't mind, I can handle this.
Okay. And what is your spell save DC?
That would be a whopping 16.
And
Wish mine was that good.
I
What
got a
was it?
15. And I got a 15. Of course I did. So,
What was
the
it?
guard 16.
Oh, okay.
The guard looks at you. You're right, sir. You do have this. My apologies. Men, back to the wall. And the guards kind of stop and look at him strangely for a moment as he suddenly turns on his heel and begins marching back toward the city wall. The other three look at you, look back at their commander, look at you. Okay. And walk in his direction.
As they leave, I turn to the person who would be Glaive. So, you were once a Goliath when you collapsed here, and now you're a halfling? How was this accomplished?
Uh, you see, Glaive is taking his nap now. I was the one who did that thing. Yeah.
Is this something you have learned how to do and master, or is this something that just spontaneously happened?
Obviously,
Uh,
this happened spontaneously.
Well, I do have a friend here in the city who studies these unique transformations. Perhaps you would like to meet them. Perhaps they could help us understand what has happened.
Obviously, I was being sarcastic. Of course, she knows how to do it. And who are you?
Yes, so I'm quite familiar with. My name is Aladar.
Right. Sorry, take over. I don't know what to do.
Could you confirm the spelling on that?
Yeah.
Aladar. Aladar.
Hey!
Yeah, we were so
Eldora-
good at that.
Eldoris, high five. It took a minute to travel across the states.
It happens.
Well, Doris kind of gets to his feet and looks over, and Aladar, it's a pleasure. Forgive us, we're a little out of sorts at the moment, and Elena's just Elena. She's always late. Is
No
there
worries.
something we can do for you?
Here in the city, actually, very nearby. They study such transformations, such as your friend here.
Is it safe there?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is it safe there?
As far as I understand, yes. Safety isn't something that is usually concerned with this friend, as far as I understand it.
Can I make an insight check on this person?
Go right ahead.
See if he is telling the truth. Oh, I realized I didn't roll my dice. Damn
Nothing
it.
like a new player just getting barraged with insight checks.
We got to
Just
put
the
them
way
through
it
the
goes.
faces.
Right?
Well,
The attack right now.
It's kind of my character's thing. Unnatural 20.
I got a 20.
Okay.
17.
16.
So the first thing I'm going to say that you notice about Aladar is, unlike most of the Dragonborn that you have encountered, this one does not have a tail.
Ooh.
Aladar, would you like to describe what your character's motivations seem like, unless you would like to roll a deception or persuasion check?
Cal, your camera decided to go poo.
I'll be honest. His intent is, exact instance, would be more along the lines of just showing off this ritual to his companion.
Well, it's better than in custody, I suppose.
And who is your friend that you want to take it? Hang on, sorry.
Study transformations to grant racial abilities to those who do not have. Such a training your friend has gone through would be of high interest to them.
It is my first time that I have done this. I'm interested.
So, are you saying that you want to, study our friend, like run tests on her and?
Him?
Glaive
Well,
nods
if
in
I'm to be perfectly honest, I do not know what Professor Tenya would be interested in asking or doing. I just know that they study these types of things and would at least like to hear the story of what has happened.
I'm willing to talk as long as we're safe.
Yeah, I think we should get off the street. Real quick.
Yes.
Skyships.
Yeah,
Ah.
What's the deal?
Drive me crazy.
Make a perception check.
Oh, I want to do this too.
Ships come crashing down on somewhere safe nowhere. Got it.
Just smashes down in this whole district just around us. Oh, okay, they're on the ground now. It's cool. 23.
19.
19. So glancing up very high in the sky, you see one of the airships that you had been previously on floating away from the city a bit. And the one that had been missing its crystal, you see it, I don't want to say violently spinning, but it's kind
So
of
don't-
rotating. It's kind of rotating in a clockwards direction. You can't really tell from your vantage point whether it's going down, but you do see about 4 other airships have just launched from a nearby skyport and are heading up toward this ship. And you see these massive ballistas on the side that have almost like a harpoon-like protrusion on the front. And as you're watching from down below, they fire these harpoons into the ship, and it begins to like careen to the side and slow down as 2 of these ships hook onto either side, way up in the air.
Hey, the white sky ship.
Everton, sorry. What did I miss?
They got the sky ship
Yeah,
situation.
rocks fell. Everybody.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, let's start a game, guys.
All right. Well, that's good. Okay, so,
That's very good. It's not often we have people that clean up after us.
Glaive needs a place to sleep. I say we go.
agreed.
What's Bernie doing right now?
What is?
Bernadictus is currently holding Glaive's Glaive in his arms like a child.
Really? Oh no!
See, Paul is straight up glaring at him.
You see an almost confused look on Bernadictus's face as he's just kind of staring down at the person he just killed, and then the person saved his life and then turned into a halfling, and he's genuinely shocked and seems, you almost see care in his eyes and like what's going on? He needs to get to the bottom of it.
Come on, Bernie. We'll walk and talk. Did Pike's message get through? Did Pike send a message?
No.
Did she send a message at all?
No, I don't think you had Pike send a message.
To
To Xavier, yeah. She sent a message to Xavier.
We sent it to Xavier.
So Bernadictus,
I'm still out.
But,
So.
after you left, here, we'll walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
After you left, we discovered some information that several of the betrayer gods have been impersonated by the Chained Oblivion.
You're talking to Wyatt.
I'm what?
Xavier's not there.
I know. I'm
No,
talking to I'm talking to Bernie.
Yeah, he's talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
I
my
said, I said, of course we sent the message to Xavier.
Gotcha.
I'm telling this to Bernie, trying to clear this up.
Yeah, say he doesn't want to be an Elena and tell everything to somebody they just met.
Wait, who's this guy again? What?
He
Why? Huh?
he introduced himself.
No, Wyatt.
No, not Wyatt.
Oh, Wyatt, right?
Who's this guy again? Why are you here?
I don't know why he's here.
Because he's my friend. I like him. He's staying.
Alright. In any case, Bernie, the Chained Oblivion has been manipulating things for some time, including orchestrating the two of you, you and Glaive, going after each other. I don't know to what end, but it was part of his plan.
And he has been trying to find a way to redeem himself for some time too. Glaive, that is. He's trying to make things.
I don't understand, but I'll listen.
It's fine. We'll put it down on paper for you when we get back.
We
We'll
don't know how long
spell
this
it out.
book.
That would probably be helpful.
We don't know how much of our information we should trust at the moment.
I understand that. Let's go. Who are you again?
I am Eldar.
He got rid of the guards for us. Though I
You're
don't know why.
You're a Ravenite.
That is correct.
Oh yeah, that I don't actually remember. Does Bernie have a tail or not? I would assume so.
I believe he said he does.
If he's pointing out that
I think he
Aladar
does.
is a Ravenite, I would assume he has a tail.
I could be wrong, but I'm guessing right now. So
At the moment, he has a tail.
I mean, the
Yes.
surprise could go either way.
yes.
Yeah, I suppose. They're kind of in danger at the
Jordan,
moment.
may I ask of your character, would you be wearing anything official? Like a sigil
Or a sigil.
or a sigil, yeah.
I would imagine mine would just be typical robes of Draconia. Given the nature of his intentions, I would assume he might have some kind of alliance marker on him.
Okay, in that case,
I don't know.
Okay, so Benedictus then, in this case, notices. Let's say you're wearing a necklace, the symbol of Draconia on it. So he's just going to point out, you're wearing a sigil of Draconia.
Yes, I am. What of it?
Are you from Draconia?
Of course I am. Well, let's put it this way. I'm a diplomat. I'm here to speak with the council.
Okay, then. And you walk around with a staff casting spells on guards.
That doesn't put you
I do not enjoy using magic on mundane activities and as a tool.
Real quick for the rest of us, what do we know about the differences between Ravenites and Draconians?
Who wants to roll a history check?
I do,
Who doesn't?
right?
Everyone.
Yeah, Dragon
Wyatt
Ball,
doesn't
right?
know.
Ooh.
Fiona and me.
I might know.
13.
You don't know much, Eldoris.
24.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
17.
Surprisingly, so Vale, yeah, 17's pretty good. So,
I read about
what?
it.
Yeah, you've read about it, Elena. You know all of this,
I got a
mostly from your parents, but the Dragonborn live on their own continent. Oh wait, hold on. It's close to Wildmount.
That was in Wildbound.
It is actually in Wildmount. I apologize, Jordan.
Oh.
I
Sorry.
thought it was its own continent. About 30 years ago, it met with a massive cataclysm and was assaulted by a dragon, which was defeated by Vox Machina. However, during that destruction, there are two races in Draconia of Dragonborn. There are the Draconians, who are have a tail, claiming to be a pure bloodline. They have subjugated and enslaved the Ravenites. When the dragon attacked, the Ravenites rebelled as well, serving the dragon, and let's politely say committed genocide against most of the Draconians in the country. Those that remained were enslaved. However, in the 30 years since then, the Draconians and Ravenites have begun tentatively uh, reaffirming an alliance between the two of them, starting to give, in the essence of rebuilding Draconia, better treatment to the Draconians than before, however, are still looked down upon in the society. I explained it to Jordan. It's kind of a 1950s, 1960s America with racial segregation, where, but backwards. So, as opposed to African Americans who were once enslaved and are now granted citizenship but are still treated poorly, in this case, those who were enslaved are now in the position of power and are treating the once persons of power as lesser citizens, beatings on the street, things like that. That's the current political state of Drac.
Cool. So there's no tension here at all. Got it.
Lots.
Mm. Well.
Mind you, while you guys are all walking, Eldar has this high-nosed, prideful face on him.
You might want to tone that down a bit if you're going to camp.
I'm sorry, tone what down?
Your ego.
What, it
I
never
would not
stopped you
be
before?
ashamed of what I am. I am a Dragonborn through and through. Ravenite, Draconian, not matter. I'm a Dragonborn, and for that I am prideful.
You can be proud of that, but when speaking to people of power that have more power than you, it might be wise to tone that pride.
And I'll just remind you, Jordan, at this point you've actually already met.
I appreciate the advice, though it is unnecessary. Thank you.
Have you
I
already met the council?
appreciate the advice. And my how words not working.
Words are hard.
My dealings with the council have gone just about as well as I expected them to, and I am happy.
Well, I wish you luck with the rest of your endeavors on that.
So as you follow, man, I am so bad with names.
Alada.
Aladar, that's right. I'm just horrible with names. I apologize. As you follow Aladar, he literally walks you around the building Glaive and Benedictus had crashed next to. You see, you are in the Cloud Top district, and along the eastern wall of the Cloud Top district, there's a gate right here-ish. He leads you through the gate into the other district, in which, what is its name? I don't remember because it's a weird word. You see above it the Erudite Quarter. In here, you see beautiful towers stretching into the sky and across the cityscape as century-old halls. And at quick glance, all of you can see scholars, students, artisans, and people of learning walking through every corridor, every building. This is the education center of Amman, and everyone, as you enter here, pointing up in the sky at the spectacle of 3 airships raining in a 4th. You see it kind of drooping between them as all the crystals on it have now been shut off, and it's just hanging between these 3 ships and being pulled in toward the skyport as a 4th one goes off in pursuit of the other one that went. Aladar leads you toward one of the buildings. You see this beautiful, almost Gothic cathedral with large wooden doors on the front, stone steps to go up. It looks like it's had recent renovation as well. Some of the stones are newer, and some of the older stones look charred and burned at the edges. As he comes up, he knocks on the front door. As it opens, a small gnomish figure opens the front door. Yes?
Is she available today?
She hasn't been available for several. Her subs in today. How she has been keeping herself in her room.
If you don't mind, could you send word to her that her companion Aladar is here?
Like I said, she's been keeping herself. You're more than welcome to speak to the Institute.
Sorry, you cut out a few times there.
As I said, she's been keeping herself in, but the Institute is available.
Is there any way to send message to her?
She's in her room.
Just barge in on her unannounced.
Didn't sound like it, no.
Her room is by the classroom on the inside, so you would have to go in to where the substitute is and then pass them through the classroom into her quarters. So I would recommend just speaking to the substitute after class.
Fair enough. I'll head to the classroom. I'll speak with the substitute. Thank you.
The gnome opens the doors a little bit further. You see him wearing this long gray robe that's like dusty at the edges and torn in several places. Out of place in this college. And as the door opens, you see a multitude of students. Well, we lost someone. They're back.
Say we don't lose anybody.
Sorry about that. As the students walk by, you see any number of the worst and best fashion you have ever seen in the world walking up and down the halls, laughing, singing, telling jokes. You have walked into a bardic college.
No.
Not the Bardic College.
Mismatched tunes ring through each of the halls as you follow Aladar through the halls. There's all kinds of different genres of music being played over each other. People doing interpretive dance in the middle of the hallway. You have to stop for a moment as one of them gets into like a very aggressive movement, cutting off part of the hallway as you walk by. You wait for them to move to the side. Their dance moves not at all in keeping with the music at all.
It's a
Some
major
of them has been
freestyle
barred.
going on here.
Excuse us, can you move?
I'm just in the music.
How stoned are you?
The building's made of stone.
Have you been partaking in spice?
Elena, just be polite. Leave him alone.
You make your way past the interpretive dancer, following Aladar through the hallway. You find a room labeled. Where did I put the note?
I've never heard of a building called that before.
Sorry, a room labeled magical transference. As you enter, you see a sloping floor going downward with kind of wooden pews arranged in a half oval going downward step by step, where in the center of the room, or at the bottom of this incline at the end of the room, there is a large black board against the wall in which you see a massive amount of arcane sigils drawn on it in white chalk. A rough sketch of a humanoid form, one half human, the other half draconian. And the anatomy differences between laid out on the white chalkboard. On a large stone altar at the front of the room, you see a cage containing a pixie that is battering the cages and kind of like trying to break out and flitting back and forth from the inside. And across the altar on the other side, you see what appears to be an absolutely ordinary rat.
That means it's anything but.
Right?
In the room, there's about 10 or 15 students sitting around with large scrolls, opening quills. And at the front of the room, you see a figure in a long white and gold robe with a kind of Middle Eastern style shoulder scarf going around. And he's currently transcribing some of those runes on the chalkboard as you enter. And the room is in silence.
Quick question to DM.
Yes.
As Atenia is a companion of mine, would I recognize this substitute as a prodigy of hers or anything along those lines?
Actually, fun fact, you do recognize the substitute. The substitute, as they turn around, you recognize to be a member of the Tal'Dorei Council. Turning around, you all see the smiling face. If I can find my note of which department he was in, you see Council Member Richard Schlong Johnson de Wang Fao.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Ah, there they are. All right. As he turns around. Ah! Aladar, it is good to see you, yes? Come down. What can I do for you today? Ah, class. This is Aladar, Ambassador of Draconia. He is here on important business to see the council. I regret I was not able to make it there today, but I am so happy you were able to make it here. What can I do for you, my friend?
Yes, my friend, you were sorely missed. I was unaware you were substitute teaching. I'm here to have counsel with Atenia. Is she
Atenia?
available today?
She has not been available for many weeks. That's why I'm today. She's been able to leave on her own, but she has been in her room ever since we were able to get her experiments working.
What experiment is this?
Haha! I'm so glad you say. I was just transcribing to my students on the board here. She passed the information on to me. We are passing it on. Young minds, come, sit for yourself and take a look. It is a marvel of modern magic.
Uldoris looks for an open seat and pulls out a little um, a little notebook that he's got from his satchel and attempts to try and make sense of what's being.
Make a wisdom check, or actually make an intelligence check. I'm sorry, intelligence.
Just straight
While he
intelligence
does
check.
that, I speak with him.
Straight intelligence.
Yep,
19.
19. Yeah. You as you sit down, you recognize that what is on the board. You don't know what they mean, but you know they are arcane sigils, and you can kind of see how they relate to one side uses very round shapes in comparison to the humanoid, and on the other side, it almost looks like you don't speak Draconic, but you know Draconic, and you know it's a language of magic, and you see that some of the arcane sigils are in actual Draconic on the one side. You begin to like transcribe in your notes some of these symbols down. What were you saying, Jordan?
As he was looking over the notes, I speak with the council member. My friend, you have my curiosity piqued. What is the meaning of all this?
The rest of the party, are you all like sitting down at this point?
No, I'm standing.
Okay. Wyatt.
I am wherever Sapala is.
Okay, Sapala.
Um, I would say that I'm probably not sitting down, but I'm off to the side. Just kind of watching.
Okay. So with Vale and Elena kind of standing awkwardly in the back, and Sapala and
Remember-
Eldora's and
I was with wherever Glaive and Bernie were.
okay, well, and they're in the back too, just holding the
Okay.
halfling there. And then Sapala, Eldora's, and Wyatt kind of lean up against the side of the wall. It's cold stone on your shoulder, and the rest of the classroom kind of looks back at you all as Eldoras has made his way down to the front and is diligently taking notes.
Lena doesn't have to take notes.
Richard walks to the front of the room. I'm glad you asked. All right, class, here we are. We are ready to do this. Cracks his knuckles, rolls up his sleeves. He puts one hand on the cage containing the pixie, and as he does, you see it like come over to the bars. And as it gets really close, this kind of arcane electricity kind of zaps it away from the bars. And he puts his hand on the bar with the rat. Displayed on the table in front of him, more of these symbols begin to light up on the altar, and he begins to mutter under his breath. As he's chanting over and over again these words, the cages begin to glow with this almost bright energy, blinding most of the room, and you can't even see the pixie or rat in the cages anymore. Tong Sarang Broka! Spell, there's a poof of energy. The papers on the tables kind of rustle backward. A couple of students have to catch them as they go flying around. As the light fades, you no longer see the pixie in the cage. It is completely empty. And in the other cage, the rat is sitting there motionless. And Richard kind of comes over for a moment, and he opens the cage, pulls out the limp body of the rat, puts it on the altar in front of him, puts his hands over it, and begins to cast a spell. His hands glow with a familiar healing energy. The rat squeak, and it sits up and immediately begins to hover about 2 feet above the altar, levitating there. Aha! You see, the rat is levitating on its own. I have not cast levitate on this creature. It is a mundane rat that is now able to use its racial ability. It gained from the now deceased pixie. Truly
So you
remarkable.
so you killed a pixie to make a rat fly.
Uh-oh.
Ah, I see your questions, young lady. Very good. You have mind. Yes, it seems pointless when you say it like that. However, the implications of this are absolutely astronomical. Think for yourself. Look around the room here. We have elven people, a couple half elves, as well as humans, and yourself as a halfling. Some more magical than others. However, at the end of one's life, one could pass arcane abilities on to other generations, making new magical forces that are more powerful than the ones that previously. Who knows what possibilities lie when we can mix magical races?
Okay.
This is defying nature.
Ah, this is improving on nature. All the rules of magic defy nature.
We are not meant to improve nature. It
Can-
improves on its own.
What
Us interfering messes it up.
what race is this guy?
As far as you can tell, human.
He was human.
Okay.
He has no soul.
So okay. So what I'm gathering here is that you killed an innocent being to display your magic trick.
Uh-oh.
My dear, the furtherment of science and magic has always required the loss of some lives here and there, and unfortunately, it is very true. You may be interested in the vegan studies. However, I did not come up with this, and as I said, the information of this comes from Professor Atina. She was able to perfect this to the point where she was able to keep both subjects alive, which is why it was remarkable. However, she has been missing and was not able to pass along that information to me. She has been in her room and will not speak to anyone since she made this discovery. I am just teaching her class.
How many other people are in the room?
15.
Okay.
All council members, impressive as your magic is, trading wives is never okay.
Oh no, I absolutely agree
Until
with you.
you-
Like I said, I'm just
Until Atinia comes back from whatever recess she has taken, I would advise not demonstrating this ritual any further.
make a persuasion check.
A whopping 14.
14. You would have to take such requests up with the school board. They are the ones that set the syllabus, I believe they call it here. And I am just following that. So if you want to speak to Ativa, though, her room, he points to the right-hand side of the altar. You see a wooden door. You go through there. You will go into the back study. I would not bring the halfling with you. It might be a little sensitive back there for her. But lots of mice, if you catch my drift. Then through that door, another door, you will find her private quarters, probably locked, so be careful. But you are welcome. I, however, have a class to teach.
Why is she upset about halflings?
Oh, not upset about halflings. He was saying she might not want to go back there after her reaction to the pixie.
He's talking about Sapala.
Yeah, I know he is.
Gotcha. Well, I do need to speak with her, and she would be very interested in this other halfling.
Isn't he still asleep?
So-
Oh yes,
Is somebody carrying him?
Bernie
Yeah,
is.
Bernie is.
Okay.
Like I said, you're
Teacher
welcome to go back.
class. Teacher class, but beware of your attendants or attendees. Have a
Okay.
good day, my friend.
Okay, class. Turn to page 397.
Yes.
394.
All right. So is everyone going through?
Uldoris reluctantly gets up from his seat, wanting to take more notes and learn this stuff, but he gets up and goes with the rest.
Wyatt will
Yeah,
stay
ladies
by
go.
Zappala's side.
See, Paula's going.
Okay.
I don't care what that man says.
Wyatt's going too.
Okay.
I'll give
Elena
him
and
a
Vale.
nod and continue.
Yeah, I'm going. But I give him the stink eye as I walk
Same.
by.
As Elena gives him the stink eye, he gives a very deep bow, comes up and gives Elena a wink.
I do not like you.
Vale is in Sensei of Spirits persona, because that was the last time we saw this guy.
I forgot all about that.
I didn't.
Hence the bow and the wink.
At Elena?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was at Vale. You're right. That
Yeah.
was Vale. He bows and winks at Vale.
Elena's statement still stands.
Yeah, I still give him the stink eye because what he's doing defiles nature.
Defies, not defiles.
It's
I
the same
mean,
thing.
anyway, so
Figure out
as you all walk through this back door, the first thing
Oh, not the
that
appropriate thing to say in a bar college.
I think it's the perfect thing to say in a bard college.
Yeah. That's
the first thing that hits you is the repulsive odor of droppings of feces, and back here is almost a warehouse atmosphere of a pet shop. As you go in the back room, you just see the walls are lined with cages. The ceiling, there are hung cages sporadically, just here, there, and everywhere. And only 1 in every 6 has a living creature still in it. As you pass by the first row of stacked crates, you see fairy dragons laying motionless in their cages.
As a point, I'm gonna, as we pass each cage, take a small bit of rations I have and feed these fairy dragons as we pass.
As you put down the first portion of rations in the first cage, you notice there is no motion from this fairy dragon at all.
Do any of the fairy
Well,
dragons
that's not good.
Make an investigation check.
So that's a 21.
21. As you go through some of the cages, looking, searching, you find a green fairy dragon motionless in its cage, a bright pink fairy dragon motionless in its cage. And finally, just when you were about to give up, you come to one of the last cages. As you go to move it, you hear on the inside, and inside is a faint blue, very small pixie fairy dragon. That is
Can I get it out of the cage?
So you go to open the door, and
Your door what?
the cage door is locked.
Can I?
Oh
Can
no.
I unlock it?
Make your thieves tool check.
We are not Vox Machina. We can deal with doors. Hopefully.
Okay, wait. What do I add? Stealth or
Dex.
sleight of hand?
Thieves'
No,
tools.
it's dexterity and your proficiency.
Assuming you're proficient.
Oh yeah, I'm
Assuming.
proficient.
I would hope so.
27.
Okay. As you insert your thieves' tools into the lock, you take 6 points of lightning damage
That's fine.
as the
Doesn't mean
That's fine.
cage shocks you. But you push right through it and snap the lock, and on the inside, its eyes barely open, very almost skeletal frame, its wings kind of flaky and pale against its form. Light blue fairy dragon.
I take it and I put it in my shirt and then I try and feed it some food as we're walking, but I'm trying to keep it hidden as well.
It very weakly kind of gnaws on the food in your shirt. Its eyes still like barely open.
It's okay. You'll
Is it the same one
Yes. Is it the same
that we found up in
Whitestone?
the place?
Yes, it looks to be.
Is is Elena doing this like in sight of everybody?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I will walk up next to Elena, and I will place my hands upon the poor little creature, and I will cast Cure Wounds.
You watch as a little bit of the back to its wings. Its eyes open just a little bit more to eat the food a bit more vigorously. And as the rest of you are searching through the cages, you find 3 more still alive fairy dragons in the rest of the room.
Is it possible to determine what's causing this condition in them?
Make a medicine check.
Do you not use thieves' tools?
That would be a whopping 19.
I can neither
19.
confirm nor
What's that word?
If I give you my thieves' tools, are you going to break them if you use them to unlock the other cages?
I will probably not break your thieves' tools.
Do you have thieves' tools?
Yes, but I might break mine.
Well, use them and unlock the other fairy dragons.
But I don't want to break mine.
Just do it, Bill.
Jordan, as you inspect the creature and you see their emaciated frames and glancing around the feces-soaked room, you do not see a single food or water bowl in sight.
Wyatt's
You
gonna
can- you-
bend down to Sapala and just whisper, "Your friends think we can't hear them."
We're not hiding it from you.
Supala, we need to get the other fairy dragons out.
Can I?
Immediately charge at the door. This is unacceptable of any dragon kind.
Okay. Roll a strength check.
Which door?
The other door, he said, I think, right?
14.
It'd be kind of funny if you laid that guy out in front of the class.
I thought about it.
Okay. So you slam into the door. It doesn't give at all. It gives a very hearty thunk. And as it does, you hear a latch go and a cage that was positioned directly above. Make a dexterity save.
It's a tiger.
Dex save or dex check?
Save.
13.
13. As you go to take a step back, suddenly an iron cage just on the ground on all sides of you, Aladar.
Yes.
You all watch as he hits the door, rebounds, suddenly just encased in this metal cage.
I don't think anyone heard that.
Nope.
Wait, he's in the cage.
He's in a cage.
He's in a cage.
That's an interesting trap to find
This
indoors.
cage drops on me, and I start shouting, "Atenya, open this door and allow me in."
Can I try and pick one of the locks?
Yeah, go ahead and make your thieves tool check.
Take the lock picks out of my hair.
Wyatt will come over and try to lift it. Is it so the cage just like fell onto him and like there's a hole like it could be lifted off of him?
Yeah.
He'll walk up, rub his hands together, and
I'll aid you with that.
lift it off.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Real quick, before I roll the pick, we saw Elena get zapped, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to try something in case this happens. You said there were 2 more that are locked, right?
Uh huh. Three
Okay.
more.
If I can get the cages next to each other, I want to pick one, and if and when it zaps me, I would like to use absorb elements to try and short circuit the other lock.
Okay.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Science.
magic.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So I'm making a dex save.
Yep.
I have never rolled well for thieves' tools. Not once.
17.
17. All right. So you take 8 points of electric damage, or of lightning damage. I keep saying electric. Which is halved as you reach for the bars. You immediately just let go of them as a shock goes through you. And Vale.
I got a 14.
14. Yeah. So is that for the thieves' tools or?
Yeah.
Okay. You get the lock in there, and you can feel well. First of all, so absorb elements. How does that work?
It's when I take elemental damage. I take half the damage, and my next melee attack does a d6 of that type.
Okay. So just make a straight. You know what? I don't even need to do that with your dex. I was gonna make a dex check. So you start to pick the lock, and as it starts, you can feel the electrical energy begin to pulse through you. You immediately take one of the other tools and jam it in the other. So you take half of this. So
Oh yeah, lightning rod.
you take 4 points of electric damage. That is the half.
That is halved.
Halfling lightning rod.
Yep. That is the
Not a
half.
halfling.
Or sorry, half
Yeah.
lightning rod. Sorry.
And you watch as the other lock kind of spark, and as you take the pick out of that one, it continues to just kind of sparking for a moment, and then just let out this grayish smoke. But you did not seem to be able to get the first one.
Does it appear to have?
It does appear to no longer be sparking. Like you have the jiggling it around, and it's
Great,
not.
that makes things easier. Can I try again? Unlock it. Xavier's good at picking locks.
and
Hey,
I want to be getting zapped by that.
21.
You get it unlocked.
Only 21.
Wyatt's going to
Temporary.
subtle cast dispel magic on the cage.
Okay.
The big one, right?
So the big one, yes.
Yes.
So Wyatt, you how do you cast it?
Subtly, because they don't see me cast it. Because I don't. Subtle spell removes semantic and yeah. I don't. I make no hand motions. I don't have to speak anything. It just happens. So I literally just stare at the cage and
It's
dispels.
meta magic.
Meta magic.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right then.
It's special.
So you have effectively cast dispel magic on the cage.
And then I will try to lift it off.
All right, make another strength check. And Vale, with a 21, you managed to get
With
the
this one, I'm gonna.
Okay.
And what was that?
And I spend a special thing to get advantage on that strength check.
Are you going to try to help him, Aladar?
No, I'm doing this all myself.
Okay.
That's gonna be a unnatural 20.
All right. Well, in that case, Aladar, gosh, Wyatt, you come over and this time bracing yourself against the wall, you begin to and you manage to get about 2 feet of clearance on one side of the cage. It is heavy, really heavy, but using the wall as brace, you manage to get just space that Aladar can probably crawl out.
Make it quick. And then after he's cleared, I.
Are you crawling out, Aladar?
Yeah.
Okay. So Aladar, you get down on all fours and crawl across the ground, and just as you slip by, really thankful you don't have a tail at the
Oh,
Full.
And
Now that's right in front of the door, correct?
yep, it is currently blocking the door.
What was your name? Bernie?
Yeah.
You look strong. Help
Sounds
me with
really
this.
All right.
Sounds
He
really
comes
good.
over. Roll another strength check with it.
I'll take glaive from him.
Yep. Okay.
That's going to be a 23.
23. All right. So the two of you, hoist, and there's the horrible sound of metal screeching across stone as you drag these iron bars 4 feet away from, allowing enough space for you to pass.
Is the door still locked?
You go up and try the handle.
I will try the handle.
Bzz.
Okay.
Probably.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
I can only hope.
18.
Okay. You take 4 points of lightning damage as you touch the door handle. You watch as the electricity works across and right into your palm.
I will also cast Absorb Elements and take half of that again.
Okay.
And then I try
Oh
and
man,
kick down
can't
the
take
door.
that 4 damage.
You're gonna try to kick the door in like Wyatt did. Oh, or not Wyatt. Aladar did. All right.
Aladar.
Roll a strength check.
Please
And
let
as
there be
you
another cage trap.
as you pull back, Bernadictus gives you a look and a nod, and the two of you kick at the same time. Roll with advantage.
Sweet. It's going to be 18.
18. As you kick the door dents inward, you see a puff of smoke come from the door handle. The wood kind of bends inward and snaps a bit, but doesn't break from its hinges.
Oh my gosh. Move. Can I thieves tool the door open?
You can certainly try.
Before she gets there, I'm going to kick it again.
I'm gonna take those 2 little dragons and hand them to Eldorus.
It's,
25.
it's 3, by the way.
Well, Doris will take them, and he will cure wounds them as well.
Okay.
Try and
I'm going to try and kick
liven-
down the door before she gets up there.
One more strength check without advantage.
21.
Okay. As Elena comes over saying, side kick the door, and it something snaps on the side, and this massive beam that was holding it on the inside careens away, and the door slams against the wall, causing dust to fall from it, and leaving this kind of puff of almost like smoke as the door settles against the wall.
Didn't need your help.
As the door collapses, I'm gonna shove my way through, shouting, "Atenya!"
As you come in, you see the first thing you see is a pedestal with a upon it. Next to it is a candelabra laying on the floor, its candles strewn about. A tapestry that had been hanging on the wall in this stone appears to be mostly burnt, depicting a army scene. It appears to be on it, some grand noble knight and his men, but all that remains is the banners that fall above them. The rest of it burned from the candelabra. A bookshelf on the other side lay strewn across the floor. A 4-poster bed lies in the center of the room, as kind of a rectangular shape. So directly like across and to the left, you see a four-poster bed, mostly intact actually, but you see what appears to be slashes and tatters, white feathers strewn about. Past that, you see two intact bookshelves, one on either side of a desk, facing a stone wall with no indentation, and that is what you see. Current perspective.
Are there any doorways into a smaller office or anything of that such?
There are no doorways, and judging by the decline that you walked to get here and the chill of the room, you are underground.
I don't think your friend is here
Bernie chimes in.
Without
If there's no one here, then how is the bar from the inside?
Magic.
You could have teleported out.
I assume we're searching
if
the room
no
now.
one is here, then we've been lied to.
Yeah.
I turn around full 180 and head straight back toward the councilman.
Okay.
Are there any secret doors?
Are you investigating the room?
Yeah.
Roll an investigation check.
I also
Me
want
too.
to investigate.
So,
I'd
this
help
is
fail.
this is her study.
Between the two of us, we have
This
a pair of
this
elven eyes.
appears to be a mixture of her study and her bedroom.
Nope.
It's fine.
I'm going to.
29 fail.
But how big is this room?
I'd say it's about 20 feet across by 10 feet.
Okay, so I'm going to use my action, spend some points, and try to make any hidden glyphs appear around me within 15 feet.
Okay. Aladar, as you come storming out of the back room, it appears class has adjourned and no one in there. Either that, or hearing a very large metal object crash into the floor, everyone left.
Scatter!
That's probably not it.
Elena,
Definitely not.
where are you investigating with your 29?
I want to investigate where the claw marks are. Did you say they were on the bed?
They are. Okay.
Yeah, I want to investigate those.
So, as you're going over there to look, Wyatt, you cast your spell, and there is a very faint, no longer functioning sigil that you kind of pick up on the broken remains of the, as well as each handle on the desk on the other end of the room. There are 3 drawers going down, and each one has glowing lightning runes on.
They glow for one round in like a dim light, so everybody sees it.
But Elena, as you come over to the bed, you see these long slashes, and as opposed to the slashes of a creature, which are generally jagged and torn into the fabric, these are clean, like a dagger or a sword. There is no blood, however. There is nothing to show that a fight happened, just slash marks in the fabric. Almost as if someone tried to make it look like there had been a struggle. And as you glance around the rest of the room, everything that looks like a struggle occurred is placed. The books aren't strewn about randomly, they have been set upon the floor. Even the bookshelf, which would have fallen and damaged its, is clean. And as you're investigating the bedside, you feel heat emanating from beneath it. With that very high investigation check.
It's a heated mattress.
Can I get somebody's attention and like wave them over?
Uldoris goes to walk
And you
over
said it
to
was
you.
what was heated again?
The air beneath the bed.
Okay. I like do a lifting motion to Yildiris.
And he goes to walk over and then looks down into his arms and goes, oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
The handful of little dragons.
Little dragons.
Sorry.
Can I get Vale's attention? Vale.
I'm right here.
Okay.
It's not that big a room.
Lift the bed.
I don't I don't lift.
Help me lift.
Hey Wyatt. I don't lift.
I just grab one end of the bed and flip it.
Oh, see, I knew I picked the right guy. And I will prepare myself for anything.
All right. Elena, roll a strength check with advantage.
I don't know anything about Wyatt.
19.
19. Pretty easily, the two of you hoist the bed up, and it's definitely not as heavy as kicking in a door is hard. So the two of you push it over, and you see the smooth, cobbled stone of this room is slightly broken up under the bed, and you see a faint orange light coming through some of the cracks in the.
Fire. Can I move some of the stones maybe?
So you reach down, you pull on one of the stones, and it gives, and you lift the brick out of the ground, and this orange light fills the room. And as you grab another brick by brick, you pull open what appears to be a large hole in the floor, and looking down, you see a river of lava off to one side of what looks to be abandoned sewer system with a pathway to the right and just lava pouring to the left, very slowly trickling beneath the college.
Well, I think we know where his friend went and that this whole thing is staged.
Do we?
Yes. I do at least.
Looking down at the lava.
The slash marks are made by a dagger. They're too clean to be in animals. The books are placed and they're not strewn about as if someone was searching for something.
And you also notice that the actual research table and bookshelves that had research on them standing.
Yeah, her research is safe. Why would somebody who's looking for something leave that alone?
Her research is still here, you said?
Yes.
Yep. You see one book that was over by the candelabra tapestry that was sitting on a pedestal. There's a whole bunch of books on the floor that look to be placed, and then on the other end there are two bookcases and the desk that had the lightning on the handles.
Can I do a quick check of the books? See if
Sure.
there's anything.
Which book do you want to check? The one that's on the pedestal, the desk, or the bookshelves?
The desk.
Desk. Okay. Coming over to the desk, you see one book laying open. As you kind of flip through its pages and flip it shut, you see Compendium of the Fae. And on the out cover, you see like a pixie and an elf and a whole bunch of other Fae creatures embossed in its leather.
I'll take that.
Okay. As you kind of flip through its pages and put it in your satchel, you do see it's basically a monster manual with Fae creatures in it. This book will grant you advantage checks using it to identify Fae creatures and weaknesses, habitats, things like
8.
Flips to half elf. Hey, it's me.
I already know my weakness. It's rolling ones.
that.
It's the drink.
What was the book called? Compendium of Fae?
Compendium of the Fae. Yep.
The Fae. Okay. Anyone else? I got a book.
So is
Uh,
it that spot below? Is it just lava, like just a lava stream that we see, or
There's a path next to it.
there's a path
Yeah,
next to it?
if you can imagine like your basic sewer that has its walkway like a little
Oh,
bit
there's
raised from
lava
the sludge,
instead.
but
So
there's
it's a lava
lava
sewer?
instead of sewer. It's a lava sewer. Yep.
Great.
Damn, things must have been pretty lit here.
Oh, not anymore. Now it's stone.
Who's holding Glaive now?
Well,
Bill.
I think I
Hand it
propped him
back to
against the
Bernie.
door.
Handing it back to Bernie.
Back to Bernie.
You'll be fine
Propped
here.
him against the door.
Locked in the cage with the
No,
small.
I handed him to Bernie.
Bernadictus comes over and he actually kind of tips the bed back over so it's not covering the hole, but it's to the side, and he lays Glaive down on the poster.
That's a good place for him. So what do we do now?
Are we
Um,
going in the hole?
I yell down the hole to the Dragonborn. I go, Dragonborn!
Did he go down the hole?
Go back in. Go back
No.
in.
Yeah, I went back
Down
to the
the
classroom,
hole.
found it was empty. I assume I would have turned back around at that point.
Okay. Yep. You come back. And by the way, I just want to add because I think there was a miscommunication. Atina is that you know Atina. Atina is not a dragonborn. She was human. Your partner was someone else.
Darn.
So I'm yelling at Jordan's character.
Yep. So Jordan, you hear him call after you, and you come back into the room.
Yeah. What? Everyone's gone.
Yeah, and I think that the scene was staged, and there's a lava sewer.
Did you set us
Well,
up?
That's unique.
What do you? Are you a part of this plan?
I'm not a part of any of this. She was
I walk
merely a
over
companion
and I
of mine.
pull out my sword and I point it at him. And I want to see if he's lying to me. I want to do an insight check on him.
Okay. Atina, roll what? Or not Atina. Gosh,
Traitor.
Atina. Aladar, roll what you need, either perception.
God, so many names to remember.
I know.
Two
I'll
new
just write them
characters.
down.
Maybe we should be taking notes.
So what should be rolling here?
You
Whichever
roll
one you
perception or-
want.
Yeah, your pick.
Deception or persuasion.
Don't say which. Because it's more fun that way.
Persuasion will be an 11.
Say
23.
which.
23. He doesn't seem to know what's going on. He, for the first time, you kind of see past his facade of the overly proud Raven Knight, and just for a brief moment, kind of see a wait, what reaction from him to the fact that there was no one here. A genuine wait, what?
You better not be lying to us, or I will slit your throat.
Whoa.
There's no need for hostilities.
We're getting
If
nothing
I were
done,
to lie
sir.
to you, I'd do a much better job at it.
Lucky for me, I'm good at catching lies.
Well, we're not getting anything done up here, and I jumped down the hole.
Okay.
Okay, Wyatt, you land in the lava and start to. I'm kidding. All right.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Got him.
No, you land on the edge.
Fatality.
In here is blistering. You know that even for yourself, who comes from a very warm climate, it's hot down here. You know that any extended time spent in here is going to become exhausting very quickly.
In the initial moments I'm down here, like is it like a tunnel that's like going far off in the distance, or there's something notable I can see going either way?
So directly to your left, you just see a brick wall that the lava just appears pooling out from under,
Hmm.
and to the right is just a steady decline heading deeper and deeper beneath Cloud Top District. Almost, actually, not the Cloud Top, leading away from the Cloud Top District, heading.
So it's hot.
You see anything?
Obviously.
No. See it. The tunnel just continues to my right. Seems to go deeper into this part of the city. Is there a ladder or something there?
There is not.
How far did I jump down?
10 feet.
Okay. Are we following this down, or are we going somewhere else?
Well, looks like we're following it down since you're already down there.
What are we gonna do about Glaive?
Well, I'm not leaving
Yeah.
him.
Add to the fairy dragons. Maybe we should get a guard on this. Wash our hands of it.
I get a feeling this was a setup.
Same.
I have a feeling if we go out that door, there's gonna be a bunch of guards waiting for us.
And if we go down the tunnel, there's gonna be a bunch of gods waiting.
Or a bunch of lava. Or both.
I just see lava.
So far. Lava guards.
Lava
Um,
columns.
I'm gonna close the door to the room and attempt to prop up what's left of the bar in a mediocre barricade.
Specifically, a mediocre one.
Oh yes.
You close the partially snapped in half door
Oh yeah.
as
The
shut
door's
as you
broken
can,
too.
and you pick up the bar, which is kind of bent in 3 different places, and just kind of push it back into its. As you put it there, you kind of realize anyone could push on it, and it would just crawl back inward.
I can't fail if I do it badly intentionally.
It's almost laughable as you close it shut. Sort of Hagrid and Sorcerer's Stone. Putting it back in place.
Sorry about that. Well, Bernie, can you carry Glaive safely?
I
We could
think he'd be
backpack.
safer here.
I don't want him left here if guards are coming to investigate.
Yeah, I'm not leaving him.
All right, I'll backpack the baby.
I pull out some
Mm.
rope and I like
Mm.
tie it around and like.
Can we actually just tuck him in Bernie's backpack?
Could we put him in
the bag of holding.
with the
No.
like, flap open?
No,
Just little head sticking out.
we're not. We're not putting Glaive in the bag of holding
Why not?
because
It would totally work.
for some reason I could just tell it wouldn't work.
So you guys put Glaive in the backpack on Benedictus, brevity's sake,
This is fine.
and everyone is going into the hole.
I guess we're all going into the
Against my
hole,
better
into the
judgment.
lava hole. My
Boy,
bag of
my.
holding ideas
About
for
how
that
much
are
clearance
okay
between the
ones.
wall and the front? Like how much of a path? Like how wide? Like just
Let me double check.
Just a 5-foot
Let-
single person wide path, or
Let me double check.
all right.
I gotta pull up my map.
Did Percy and Vex ever tell Elena the story of Dork the Ox?
Of
See
what?
not.
Dork the Ox.
I don't remember the story.
They shoved an ox in the bag of holding. It didn't end
Oh.
well.
I'm gonna say no.
They probably forgot. Again.
I don't know.
If they put him all the way in and closed it, obviously it's not going to work well.
I feel like it happened pre-stream, but I feel like Grog was heavily involved in that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Here is to scale for you, macadamia nuts.
Thank you. That's a white
Wait.
thing.
Okay.
So it's about 10 feet on the side and 20 feet.
Dope. Dope.
Okay.
Dope. Dope. Dope.
I see what would just know.
All right. So you all drop down the hole, and it is just unbearable. There is no humidity. It is probably, excuse me, 115 degrees down,
Nice.
if not higher, and it's hotter and
So Texas.
worse than Texas. She can
I'm
say
just
that. She's from.
saying.
That's funny.
So Phoenix, Arizona, got it.
Assuming the party begins to walk in the only direction there is down here,
Sure.
I need a marching order.
I'll probably be down.
Uh,
I'll probably be in front since I said that.
Well, Doris will be somewhere in the middle.
That's not Wyatt.
Yeah, well, we don't have a figure for him yet.
Yeah,
If you don't mind,
do.
Elena and I
Oh.
going in front. Oh my goodness! If you don't mind, I'd like to take point with Elena so we can check for traps.
Yeah. Yeah. Totes.
I want to be near Glaive and Bernie.
As a squishy sorcerer, I'd be in the middle.
God, there's two Elenas. God, see.
I'm sorry. There we go.
Sarah, give me strength.
And I need a piece. We'll use good old-fashioned Horus.
Oh no.
You mean you're not gonna use Tyra the vampire? Tyra Lorelei,
Tyra's not a
the
vampire.
human vampire?
I'm going to take a moment and cast False Life on myself at 5th level.
Why can't I scale
Ooh.
this? All right, screw it. Where do you want to be, Aladar?
Spend a sorcery
I
point
would
to extend
say
the
with
spell.
right behind Aldaris would probably be the best place for me, as
Right behind
he's
the
no
doors?
longer confident in much of his understanding.
Okay. I just remembered you have your own picture on there, so I can. All right, is that everyone? I got you. 1, 2, 6. Okay, that's good. All right. So you begin walking for about 5 minutes. Elena and Vale, one roll your check for traps with
Do
advantage.
you want me to do it?
What is it? Investigation?
Yeah, investigation.
Oh yeah, not me.
With advantage or no?
Yep, with advantage.
I'm participating. I am a advantage bonus.
I'm
Right.
helping.
Run across the lava.
You said
No.
investigation,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
21.
Okay. So as you're walking, for the couple minutes, there's nothing. But as you are walking, eventually you notice a slight deviation in color on one of these stones on the pathway, and you realize there is a chalk outline of a rune on this one stone.
I stop everyone and I say, guys, there's a chalk outline of a rune on this one stone. It's my
Is the rune in a language I would understand?
Yes, actually, and as you come over to it, it is in the typical arcane language. This here would be which is very derivative of Draconic. It's a lightning rune.
Keep
Oh,
some-
fun. More lightning.
Well, can somebody get rid of it?
I got
You
some.
could also, by the way, it's small enough. You
We could what?
walk around it.
Avoid it.
Oh. Do we want to walk around it instead?
Yeah, we pointed it out.
Okay.
Well,
So you're walking around?
we're gonna
Step
walk around
carefully.
the rune.
All right. And with that perception and the knowledge, walk around, start to notice more of these lightning runes as you're making some placed on the wall, and you get birth as you walk by. About 10 minutes goes by of walking. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
What if you have fire resistance?
You're good.
Oh, good. I have fire resistance.
Money well spent.
A dirty 20.
Thank
Okay.
God. I hate
Elena,
rolling
you're
con
good?
saves.
An unfortunate 9.
9, okay.
Nine.
Wait, don't dragonborn
Depending on their
have
race.
Depends on the dragonborn. Bernie's fine.
19.
I'm
18.
a cold dragon.
It's a chili
Uh,
dragon.
Paula, you're good. What was that, Wyatt?
19.
You're good. All right, so just Aladar. Aladar, you take 1 point of exhaustion
Ugh. Gross.
as you are walking. It is hot down here. Direct, very cold in the northern reaches, wild, mountains, snowy. This is the hottest you have ever been in your life.
Yeah, I'm a cold dragon, not a hot dragon.
All right. As you continue forward,
He's not a hot dragon.
with nothing but the sound of the boiling lava rushing next to you, you begin to hear it.
Okay.
And as you look off
Delicious.
to the lake of
Ew.
lava, you see this mound of it sort of shift, and slag dips down into the lava in your direction.
I do not like the look.
Can
of
I
it.
steal?
Yeah, can I also stealth?
So where are you going to hide in a very brightly lit plain
Okay, never
sewer?
mind.
Behind Elena.
And I'm gonna hide behind Veil.
Just running in circles around each other. They can't lock on.
Doing the Naruto
Uh,
run.
I have. Can I like kind of pull my cloak, you know, and vampire it against the wall a little?
Yeah, you have the elven cloak, right?
No, she does.
Oh.
No,
But
you
I do have a cloak. I don't have the elven
No.
cloak.
You have the elven cloak.
I will say you can certainly try.
I'll happily
Wait,
take
no,
your
no,
elven
no.
cloak, but
Do you have the elven cloak or the other one that helps you gets protection, like gives you
I
protection?
have the cloak of protection. Though I will happily take the other one. You say stealth with disadvantage?
Sure, stealth with disadvantage.
He's gonna be
Hmm.
great. It's fine. We know how.
Aha! Disadvantage! My favorite terrain. 20.
20 with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay, let me roll a perception check real quick with advantage because it's a very brightly lit area.
I rolled poorly.
You rolled poorly.
Well, I can't
See,
exactly
Paula's
roll
just-
wisely.
See, Paula's just ducking
That's
behind
true.
Aladar.
Surprised you haven't given Aladar a flower.
Okay. I haven't given Eldar what?
Kayla hasn't given Aladar a flower.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if I like him yet.
Okay, so
Particularly interacted with her either yet, so
Yeah.
as Vale rushes up to the wall and kind of flattens herself against it, strangely convincingly, matching the dirty brickwork of the sewer, you watch as the magma kind of starts to coalesce.
No, I don't like this.
The room around you, which was bright and vibrantly glowing red magma, begins to darken as it looks like this center spot gets cold. Suddenly, the stone obsidian that forms, you hear this as the stone begins to jut upward. This massive form begins to rise from two glowing red emerald eyes burn into you as they go around like spotlight, looking at each and every one. It suddenly rises even higher, its torso rising from the magma, two large behemoth standing in the middle of this lava. If it were at full height, each 30 feet tall, but in the magma, its head hits the top, causing bricks to tumble into the magma around, splashing. That's where we're going to take our break.
Ah,
Okay.
ah. All right.
This
We're
is
back
fine.
in 10 minutes then.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Cats have ruined our computers. And my Taldora is restarting. Great. All right. So, welcome back. In case you're joining us right now, what are you doing? Start at the beginning. No. Okay. So, here we are. We have been.
Why are you
Lauren-
awake?
Why am I a what?
Why are you awake?
Because if I was asleep, we wouldn't be able to do this.
I'm just gonna.
Which reminds me, I've got to show them. Anyway, okay. Where last we left off, the party was adventuring down a long, narrow sewer beneath Iman, filled to the brim with lava. About 20 minutes into their journey, the lava has come to life and transformed into a giant elemental creature that is bearing down at them. And at this particular moment, I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Sounds like some great rolls out there today.
I wonder if the computer will like me better.
Oh, not good. And I'm still down from my fall.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Okay. So has everyone rolled? Jordan, are you good?
I totally forgot about that.
Oh no, do I have disadvantage on this from the exhaustion level?
No.
You do. Oh wait, no, not on initiative. No.
Not yet.
10-4, then I'm good.
I think you need some more exhaustion before you.
Okay.
that
So
happens.
everyone who is between 25 and 20.
I got a 20.
Anyone else?
Really?
Okay.
That's
20,
I
20
want
to
to go
15.
first.
19. 19 for Wyatt.
Can I roll
Anyone
lower?
else? You can't.
18.
Okay. Now you can hold your turn. You just wouldn't be able to move. You could hold an action on your turn. Okay. And okay. 15 to 10.
12.
Aldar has a 14.
Okay. 10 to 5.
Uldoris has a 9.
9.
9?
Spectre.
And am I missing anyone? Just Bernie. All right.
And his
Okay.
backpack.
Bernie in his backpack. Okay. So,
Stores.
starting off this round is Sapala.
Well,
Whale.
Well, hell.
Hell.
can you hear me?
Now we
Oh,
can.
okay. Cool.
What are you whispering, Peggy?
Sorry, I forgot I wasn't muted.
Roll the bet.
So I'm going to dang it. Sorry.
Everyone, this is Percy.
I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Yildores.
All right, so you're going to move forward to get to him and be able to cast Healing Word on him.
It's ranged.
Oh, range.
Yeah,
Okay, never mind.
I just have
Never
to be
mind.
able to see him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast it at a
Mm-mm.
What?
I'm not that hurt.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna do healing word. um. All right. All right.
George, my cat's better than your cat.
That's 12.
Okay, so you heal Odoris for 12 points. Is that going to end your turn?
No. I'm gonna cast something else. Where'd it go? Oh my gosh, I just had it. Where did I put it? I'm sorry. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna cast Ice Storm
Okay.
on that thing. All right. So it needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
16.
Fail.
It's Bird's Apollo.
So what happens?
Alright, so a hail of rock-hard ice pounds to the ground in a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. Each creature in the cylinder must take a dexterity saving throw. It takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage or 4d6.
I think I lost like most of that. You're robotic.
Huh?
You became a robot.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
How about now?
A little better.
Much better.
Okay. Do I need to reread the whole thing?
How big was the sphere?
How what?
How big was the sphere? How big was the effect?
So it's 20-foot radius, a 40-foot high cylinder.
Oh my god.
All right, so yeah, you should be able to position that to where it won't be affecting teammates.
Okay.
And did it pass its saving throw?
No.
Okay. So roll your damage.
So that's 9 bludgeoning damage and $20 cold damage.
Okay, as this torrential ice begins to pound into it, you watch as the flames on its torso. As the flames on its torso seem to, as the flames on its torso seem to burn bright as the cold energy is almost dissipated by its just incredible internal temperature. You watch as chunks and flakes of its body get thrown off into the magma. Anything else?
Nah, I'm done.
All right, Wyatt. It is now your.
He's 10 feet away from me, from what it seems.
Yes, 10 feet away.
All right. White has his knife already drawn. As a bonus action, he taps the palm on the side of his leg and extends out into a halberd.
It's a what?
A halberd. And he will cast Booming Blade. And attack it.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Natural 20.
Oh, that'll do it.
Shit, I forgot a halbert's damage. That's D10.
I was gonna say I think it's a D10.
Yeah, and it does an additional D8 from Booming Blade. Well, 2D8. 2D8 now. $16. 24 plus, so 28 points of damage. 14 of it being thunder damage, and it harmful vibrations start coursing through its body.
Okay, so you all watch as Wyatt steps forward, his dagger suddenly turning into a long pole arm, the end of it glowing with bright blue energy. He slams it into the forearm of a massive magma creature, spraying molten rock all across the room. It begins to shake and convulse violently with the impact.
And that's my turn.
Okay, now it is Elena's turn.
You're muted.
Sorry, I always forget.
No, it's just fun. It's fun seeing you mouth. Oh shit.
Okay, so I'm going to move back.
Run away, run away, run away.
I have to be within 60 feet.
You get to the end of the hall.
We're gonna go
Been
my
stoned.
full 35 feet right here.
35.
And then
How
I'm
do
gonna
you
shoot him.
How do you have 35?
What? Because I'm. Or am I? Wait. Hang on. Sorry. Maybe it's 30.
I think it's 30.
Yeah, it's 30. My fault. I'm sorry. I overestimated by
Yeah.
5 feet.
Tell him, Percy.
Kill me now. Actually, I think that was Lola. Was it Lola or Percy?
I don't know.
Maud.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I have to pull up my. Sorry. Oh, since Percy decided to turn my computer off, everything closed on me.
Yeah, of course, blame the cat.
Far cabinet. Let's see. Sorry.
I would
Yes,
not
I
go
want
to
to
the far
shoot him. And I want to use. Where's my giant killer? Is that the one I took? Or no, was it? Which one did I take? Oh, Colossus Slayer. That's what I want to use. Sorry. Okay, so I want to hit him, and yeah, I'm going to use Colossus Slayer as well.
Okay, roll to hit.
And then 23 to hit. Oh, shit,
That'll
I
do it.
forgot to cast Hunter's Mark.
Like mother, like daughter.
Sorry, I was thinking about Colossus Slayer. Okay. 1d8.
Cal's picture changed. His picture changed.
Ooh, why are you changing your picture, Cal?
What'd I do?
You turned your picture to Tyra.
Cal's diva now. I know you could do that. That's pretty cool.
I didn't know you could do that either.
He's a shape changer.
13 damage.
He's Zavala now.
Then I want to do another attack. Can I cast Hunter's Mark on this attack? Or no?
The second one, yes. Oh, how much damage did you do on the first one?
Wait.
Oh, I was distracted by people
9,
telling
10,
me
11, 12. 13 damage on the
Okay.
first one. And then I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark, and then attack. Wait, 13, 22 to hit.
He's taking over people's bodies.
But I hate sleep.
16 damage.
Okay. All right, you fire 2 arrows in rapid succession. Crash into its body. You watch as more chunks are blasted off. Anything else you're doing on your turn?
Oh, that's it.
Okay. At the end of your turn. And now on to the elemental's turn.
Oh boy.
We're all gonna die.
Keep talking like that, we will.
My
The-
90 feet of movement says
It
otherwise.
comes for on top of Wyatt and Vale.
It
Oh.
moves, so it takes an additional 2d8 thunder damage.
Takes an additional what?
It takes an additional 2d8 thunder damage because it moves because of Booming Blades.
Okay.
Effect.
Roll your 2d. Roll your 2d8.
11 damage.
Also, it's on difficult terrain because of the ice storm. I don't know if that counts because it's also on lava.
11 damage, you said?
Yes. Thunder.
Okay. It did not move. It did not move that, so we're good. So
Thunder. Feel the
Thunder.
Latin.
Thundercats!
Thundercats.
Yeah.
Oh!
Hey, we don't use that kind of language here.
Have you listened to Peggy?
Oh.
so
I mean, she did say something rude about your cat.
So rude.
Wyatt, you take 5 points of fire damage.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna use a reaction and defend against it.
Do the roar.
Do the roar.
How are you defending against it?
A
Rar.
giant runic glyph appears in front of me and blocks some of that damage.
Okay.
So I only take 2 points because I blocked 3.
Okay. Now I need you to make a strength saving.
Hey, I'm decent. at
While he's
those.
doing that, Vale, you take fire damage reduced by to 2.
Say again? How much?
You take 4. You take 4 points and you have resistance.
Okay, so 2.
And I need you to make a strength saving throw.
17.
Oh.
Okay. As the magma kind of coalesces around your feet, you manage to pull yourself above it. Vale.
I watched it slowly roll onto a 1.
The fates are taunting you now.
As you go to move, you fall forward into it and begin to be restrained by the magma coalescing. Now restrained.
Didn't I say that that's how Vale died, by rolling a 1? Didn't I say that?
And now it is going to make 2 multi-attacks. Or, well, 1 multi-attack, 2 attacks. The first one on Wyatt.
Haha, I'm on its back.
It's a 17 hit.
Unfortunately.
Okay. You take. Wow, that's low.
73.
No. Points of fire. I'm sorry, 4 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
And I dropped the die. And 3 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And you suddenly and spontaneously burst into.
He's on fire.
That's what you want.
Always.
And then his next attack is going to be on Old Door.
No.
Aha, I'm in his blind spot.
Yeah, go ahead.
That'll be a 15.
No.
Okay.
No.
That will end its
No.
turn. So on this turn, it is no longer Cinderella's turn. It is now Aladar.
All right. So you see that ice storm that's going on up there?
Yep.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna double down.
Okay.
Boom. I'm so
Boom.
stoked.
Bam! Kick it
Be
up a notch.
Dex saving throw, please.
That'll be a 7.
Yeah, that'll fail. Let's see. Damage is 2d8 bludgeon, 4d6 cold. I have 3 points of bludgeoning, 14 points of cold.
But I do have a point to make. Where are you? Oh, sorry. What was the damage again?
3 points bludgeoning, 14 cold.
Okay. And where are you centering this?
I'm going to center it right about where what looks like its club is tipped off
Okay.
at.
So that means I need everyone. That affects everyone, though, doesn't it?
That close in. Yeah, a little bit out to the side so that I'm just hitting his side, essentially.
All right. So you're gonna put it about here.
Oh,
Yeah.
didn't move.
It didn't move.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't let it
There
go.
it is.
All right. So in that
Yeah,
case,
something like that, yeah.
So in that case, I would like Vale, who is restrained by it, and yourself to make that same dex.
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 I like Dex.
But if I remember, restrained.
I get disadvantage. Hey, I'll take it. 21.
Okay, so I believe you take half damage then.
Evasion.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
And Jordan.
Yay!
Yes, half damage on success, and I'm making the roll as well.
Yep, it's kind of on you because you were right up against it as well.
That's a Wyatt.
Oh no, I'm right. You're right. Wyatt. What am I doing? Wrong person.
Yeah, don't
I'm
confuse
sorry.
me.
Wait, what's happening to Wyatt?
You're
Dex
getting
save.
cold.
Oh,
It's chilly.
it feels refreshing being coming in here.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you used evasion, so you buried your face in the lava to hide from it.
Ah!
Nope.
I got that perfect balance of hot and cold.
I see hot.
It's like hot, shit, cold. Both.
Ah, what do?
It's kind of like sticking your feet out the end of the blanket.
Yeah. Venting heat.
Exactly.
Burying yourself under 2 blankets and having 4 fans on you at the
Right.
That sounds great, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that you have to have like 1 foot out.
All right, Xavier, what'd you roll?
So
Oh,
not hanging over the side.
Wyatt.
what am I rolling again? I kind of got lost there.
Dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I didn't make it this long without sleeves for nothing.
Oh, Dex.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Or
those
without
are-
learning temperature control.
16.
You pass. So you
Woo!
take 8
8
points.
and
8
1.
cold, 1
8 cold.
bludgeon.
So how much
Is it
I
total?
don't
bludgeoning
have
count?
sleeves either.
8 cold, 1
Cold,
bludgeoning.
1 bludgeon.
So 9 total.
Yep, 9 total. All right.
I don't-
What?
Sorry, nothing. Continue.
Okay. It is now Vale's turn, and while you start to turn,
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the initiative and I was like, who the hell is Cinderella?
Gee,
That's great.
at the start of your
I'm
turn, Vale,
Cinderella.
you take 18 points of fire damage.
Ow. Out to 9.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm out of
Mhm.
temporary hit points.
I'm almost there with you, man.
So I'm still restrained.
Yep.
How does one not be restrained?
One makes a strength saving throw.
As an
How
action?
does
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna attack.
what?
It's cozy here.
It's a lot harder to
It's
wave
like
my
having
arms
my-
around, but it'll work.
I'm gonna
It's
attack
like
it.
having my own
At
fireplace.
disadvantage. You ever had your heated pillow try and smother you in the middle of the night?
Yeah,
That's 20
Okay.
to hit.
That'll hit it.
Okay.
It's like when you wake up in the morning and you're trying to take your blanket off, but it is so tangled up and wrapped around your legs that no matter which way you move, you can't get.
Does
You're real
14
toasty,
hit?
so you don't want to
Or
get
do
up.
I don't have a flanking bonus, do I?
No.
Okay.
And does an 18 hit, did you say? Yes, it hit.
No, 14.
14 does not hit. What was your damage on the first one?
I haven't rolled it yet.
Okay.
Doo-doo-doo. 2. So 10 damage.
Okay.
A bludgeoning variety.
10 damage of the bludgeoning variety. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna use a bonus action to hit it again.
Okay.
Down the table. Does a 16 hit?
It does.
It's between 14 and 16. I rolled a 2 and a 4. Another 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
You're so enticed.
That's all counts as magic too, if that matters.
Okay. It hit. It hurts.
Okay, that's it.
All right. You're just pounding into its back, chunks, dried magma, flaking. Eldora, it is.
Put me down.
Is
Don't know
this?
where I've been.
Would I be able to tell if this creature is considered inorganic?
Make a nature check.
Oh, okay. Okay. 16 plus. Where'd my character go? Nature,
It's
2,
standing at 2.
18 total.
Okay. Yeah. You have a element.
I have a
What?
That's what you said.
You have a basic understanding that it's an elemental.
It is an elemental, but is it
Yes.
inorganic?
Yes. Okay. Oh, for what purpose are you asking?
For the purposes of what I'm about to bust out right now.
Okay.
Uldoris
go.
Moves.
Uldoris kind of presses himself up against the wall and casts he casts Shatter.
Okay.
This is fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's a it erupts from a point of choice within range. Each creature within 10-foot radius sphere must make a con save. So I put it off to the side so it doesn't hit my companions because they've taken enough damage. I mean, I'm not really too worried about Wyatt because I don't really know him very well, but
That's fair.
but I'm gonna be nice, so I'm gonna try not to hit Wyatt or Vale.
I like it.
It's a con
It's a 10
save.
It's a 10-foot cube, you said?
10 foot. 10 foot. Hang on a second. It erupts from a point of my choosing within range, which is 60 foot. Each creature within 10-foot radius sphere must make a Constitution save.
All right. So, where?
Somewhere off to the side, so it's not going to hit Vale and Wyatt.
So just like those spells are there.
Yeah.
Somewhere here-ish.
And each creature within a 10-foot radius sphere.
That's fine.
Yeah, perfect. And it's a con save. Oh, and because he is inorganic, he has disadvantage on this.
22.
With disadvantage?
Yeah, rolled an 18 and a 17.
Mother pus bucket.
What?
Uh,
What save was that?
Con.
Con? Oh, it's an elemental. It's supposed to have high con. It's supposed to have high con.
20.
all right. It's 5d8 halved. That kind of sucks.
I like to think
Um,
Eldorus just menacingly pointed a fairy dragon at it. This thing's loaded.
Whee!
We're just like passing it back and forth between turns.
Acid trip, and that'd be cool.
21 thunder damage halved because he
So-
succeeded. So
10?
10 thunder damage.
Okay. And that ends your turn, Eldorus? Benedictus is going to take a few steps away to keep Glaive safe. And
Yeah,
that,
that was the other thing. Am I within range of him?
of who?
If I
Reach it.
move, am I gonna get hit?
Yes, you are within.
I ain't gonna move. I'm gonna stay put.
So at the top of the round, Vale, as you are encased back, you watch as several cracks appear in its form, and spewing two large, flame-like entities come spiraling out in a torrent of fire.
This is fine.
One more.
This is quickly becoming less fine.
Okay. So back to the top. It is Sip's turn.
I don't like this.
Can I see those?
You cannot. It is completely.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Technically, you probably don't even know they're there.
Okay.
Ah, there's
Uh,
fire!
I mean,
Probably didn't help.
Everyone's like,
Fire, we're in the lava.
As Wyatt burst into flames.
don't tempt me.
You did.
True.
I'm gonna do Ice Storm again, but I'm gonna move it.
Right over Vale.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
I'm
No.
having a very confusing day.
Do my
As,
fr- do my
as
friends
best
like
I
me?
can to where I don't
Cold,
hit them.
hot, cold, hot,
so.
cold.
So here's the problem I'm gonna do because Vale is by it. Pretty much have to fail in order to do it in an area effect.
I'm good.
She can kind of like struggle a little bit and avoid it somehow.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Worst part is I got grappled by its back. Like, what the heck?
Alright.
Has some really gnarly.
I got a
Backslash.
4 for my dex save, so it's full damage.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I should probably.
Oh yeah,
save.
Vale, do your dex save.
No, that die's gone. 22.
Hey, no
So
damage. Eh!
No, he gets half damage.
I
She-
have
Vale gets
evasion,
half
so when I
damage.
succeed, I take no damage.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Wyatt?
Which I really don't feel like should work while you're restrained.
It doesn't specify.
Yeah.
Wyatt?
Oh, is it hitting me too, or?
Nope, just Vale.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to keep the rest of my.
Would have put you
my
out though.
No.
So, 6 bludgeoning damage and
How much damage was it?
6 bludgeoning damage and 10 cold damage.
Okay. Anything else?
Uh,
All right. The torrent of ice continues to beat into this creature. You see large chunks of its molten flesh begin to just drop off and crack into the ground in glassy stone obsidian. Next on our list is Wyatt.
Alrighty then. I'm going to. Wyatt's going to be staying there. He's not grappled or restrained or anything, so he's gonna move to the edge of its range right here. He's
Okay.
basically gonna stand next to Eldoris. He's gonna point out his hand. He's like, bleh, forgot what I was gonna say. He just makes a quick motion with his hand, and the for Eldora sees the somewhat dirtied rags, but still sort of white wrappings around his hand. All of a sudden turn black, and it looks like a black tendril shoots out and grapples onto this elemental. And I cast What is it called? Enervation.
Yes.
So it needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Is this grappling it?
It flavor just it's going out
Oh.
hitting it, so it needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
I thought you were gonna say you throw it
Sick.
in the lava.
What was that?
6.
All right.
Sure, for you it worked.
So it takes 4d8 necrotic damage.
Yes.
oh,
So it takes 28 points of necrotic damage,
Okay.
and I heal for half that.
Such a good spell.
So you watch as this black crackling energy filters through the fire, causing flames to turn almost purple in some section. It lets out this low guttural, almost molten roar, like.
And then as a bonus action, I will nom on my remaining sorcery points. You know what I'm doing.
Yep.
Gross.
And at the same time, it's sort of hard to tell, but it looks like White's starting to give off a faint glow.
he's an
Okay.
angel.
That's it.
Going down then, it is Elena's turn.
That tendril's still attached to him, by the way.
Sorry. Remind me what these thingies are.
They look like large humanoid-shaped fire beings that just came out of its back.
Okay, that's perfect. That's great. That was great. Can I shoot between them and above veil?
You can certainly try. I mean, you have sniper, whatever.
Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter, that's it.
Okay, so I want to do that. I want to shoot it, not the
Okay.
thingies.
Please.
I also want to use Colossus Slayer.
Okay.
27 to hit on my first attack.
That'll hit.
Okay,
Nice.
2d8 and a d6.
Did you hunters mark it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
16 damage on the first shot.
Okay.
28 on the second hit.
Okay. On the second shot, you watch as it begins to fall completely, and the lava just disperses across the ground.
Hot.
Dope. Dope. I guess since I killed it, that's my turn.
Oh well, there goes my 5th level spell.
Am I
Okay.
freed?
We still have
You are.
the lava goblins.
Actually, I'm gonna say no. You are continually restrained. Actually. All right. That's the end of your turn, Elena.
Oh, going down. Going down. Help. Help.
Alandar, it is your turn.
Alandar the Vicious.
I'm going to move myself up and use my breath weapon.
Okay.
Why don't you chill out?
A con save from those two, if you
Chill
don't
out.
mind.
Okay, let's see here.
Oh, that's funny.
That'll be a natural 1 and 15.
The DC is 12, 13, 15.
15. All right, so he passes. So
One
one pass, one fail.
For a whopping 4 on the damage total.
All right. So 4 to one, 2 to the other.
Chill.
Okay. You gonna do anything else? Bonus action? You're muted.
Vale's shoulder and cast Dragon's Breath on him or her, allowing her to cast Cold Breath Weapon as well.
Okay. And that brings us to Vale's turn.
That to myself.
That sounds like something that can be used while prone.
Oh, restrained.
Is it an action?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like fun.
All
How does
right.
that work?
I roll dex saves. That's a fail.
Was it Dex or Con?
Those dex.
Okay.
Two
Actually, it's a
fails.
con save for the spell version.
Oh, same thing. So fail.
What's the damage?
3d6.
Ooh.
Roll high.
11.
Okay. You watch as both of these flame apparitions just vanish. Puff of cold air.
Got him.
And the
We did it!
and aside from the eerie torrent of cold spells berating the lava, you now watch as the lava in the center begins to completely cool over. And now the magma from the back of the room starts to pool over top.
Oh no. Oh no,
Yeah.
oh no.
And
That's funny.
is now well, we're gonna have Benedictus move forward as this is occurring, but yeah, the back end of the hallway is now completely flooded with lava and getting closer to you.
Help.
And that is where we will end this week's episode.
Help.
Lava hangers.
Bye bye.
Lava hanger.
Lava hang.
All right, everyone, have a great night.
Bye.
Good night.
Woo!